Get an intro.
Yeah,
and we are live. All right. So welcome back to Rolling Recklessly, the Warhammer podcast where plans fall apart, dice go wild, but we roll with it anyways. I'm Grizzly, and today we're jumping into part 2 of the House of Hobbies team tournament recap. If you haven't checked part 1 yet, that's going to be in the description. It was all about day ones, round 1 through 3, where we came out strong, won our first games, and kind of started to see how the team format really plays out. But now, this is where things get real. What was that? You got any like highlights that you want to talk about your day one, Jesse?
First of all, like after playing 3 games back to back that first day, you start to feel it going into that 4th game on the second day. But if you maybe come off of a loss or 2, you might be like reinvigorated, like got a fire in your heart to go as hard as you can on that 4th game. I know I felt that way.
So we're literally gonna go play today, and we wanted to play earlier, but we have real life. So
it happens.
we were talking about it last week. Like there must be something wrong.
3 hours is like the round time like per game. So it's crazy how 3 hours drains away so quickly in this hobby and playing this game. And then I feel like on the second day it gets rolling even faster than the first day. There's no more registration. There's no intro. There's no explanation. It's just, here's your pairings on BCP. Get to work, ladies and gentlemen. And it definitely felt like getting right to work for me, having to play the Varangard list with the Chosen reinforced. And the song and dance here. We got 2 reinforced Varangard, a reinforced unit of Chosen, and a Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount. And, you're just trying to avoid this shit. As long as you can. It's like an impending doom.
My favorite part was the whole time going into this thing, you were like, dude, I don't want to play slaves. Like we play Zach. You know what I mean? So it's just
House
like
of Hobbies, alumni, and overall veteran and nice opponent and player, Erica. She had the slaves list, and I was lucky to score 35 points in that game because it felt like she came across the table quickly and was able to get into all my key units and then double fight them. And Stormcast are pretty resilient units, man. But it's just like I was like, I got to endure 6 rounds of fighting here. I just felt stuff start to crumble, and I spent the rest of the game just kind of running away and scoring points here and there where I could, just to contribute to our team having at least some points. But it was a rough game for me. But Erica is such a nice opponent, and she said that the game was going to be quick, and I realized that too. So,
you said I've done this before.
Yeah, so
I'm a professional at this.
I'm gonna keep trying to figure out what to do against that list. That one is not really fun to play against. You gotta be set really far back, man. It just deploys you. It just teaches you to deploy. Go on the very back edge of your deployment if you have to.
What you're gonna do is start the game by asking them specifically, like, dude, what's your furthest threat range? Like, be real about this. Like, let's consider, like, I'll count the 3d6 charge. Like, I think you're gonna get it. Like, and then what is the furthest guy? What does he move?
One of the things in that game that kind of got me was like, you can fight with the Varangard, and then they can double fight. And so, like, you get 2 pile-in actions, and I just let you kind of just, like, tiptoe across the other side of the board, and you got into Bastion Carthalos super early. It was a rough game, but again, it taught me for, like, in my last game, I was like, deploy as far back as you can. And I won't talk about it too much, but by that 5th game, you have, like, so much more knowledge of what's better suited towards your army. And then I started playing in my 5th game a little bit how I should have played in my, like, 2nd and 4th game, where I was deployed, like, really far back, and I was still able to get where I needed to go. And I realized that I need to stop being so aggressive on the midline.
Yeah. I think there's time, like a time and place for it. I think you do actually do a really good job, and a lot of people don't see that coming. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this dude's gonna bomb me right away. Because I've learned, especially now as I'm setting up for other people, like I already knew to set up very far back for most people, but like the whole time, it's one of those like they're for sure gonna just drop right outside my 9, and then move in. So like I kind of like I've learned like Rick, he was laughing when I played with him at Game 4. I took the 9-inch marker and I just like moved it around my territory, and he just started laughing. And I was like, dude, I've done this before. Like I'm used to people just dropping in. So
I will say in the tournament, like making a 9-inch charge is not guaranteed at all. Like there were so many times where I thought like, oh, I've got this. Yeah, it's definitely not a gimme. It's not a gimme. Like you feel like a 3-inch or 5-inch charge, that's a gimme. But like
agreed.
But
now 9 is like how I
by
play.
far a gimme. You almost feel like when you have a 9-inch charge to make, you have to like save that CP in your mind for the reroll. You're like, oh, if I have to make 9, I'm gonna unless you have a unit that's like the prosecutors who have 3d6 charge. Yeah, 9 is not reliable. Yeah. But I see why people play that Varangard list after my 4th game. It looks like so much fun to play. You know what I mean? You just get to just have so much combat phases.
I think you do really well at it because that's like 100% your play style. It's like how Varangard plays.
For sure. And it's nice like not having the bookkeeping or having the mental exercise of having any priests or wizards. You're just like, oh, I just hit really hard and they come at you really quickly.
That's how you know you're getting good at slaves is you start looking at the other things where it's like, oh, I'm just going to run at you and hit you really hard.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, what? And you're like, oh, yeah. No, that's my plan is to run at you and just hit you really hard.
I feel like if I played slaves, I would just want Bellicor, though, or Archeon. Like,
dude, it introduces like a whole different challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Agreed. I love that. The Bellicor, played him a few times now. Like, he's not as intimidating. When you first never played him and you talk at you like you're gonna fight Bellicor, but he's still like a really solid unit, really really good ability.
Yeah.
The nice thing is I've learned. Go ahead.
The model in its size, it has a presence on the board too. You see it, you're like, oh man, I gotta be aware this fucking thing is here.
Yeah, 100%. You gotta be cautious, man. Like, cause it's coming in really hot.
His ability to just make a unit have to survive, like, take test rolls every time they use a core ability. That's really like scary and like imposing, and it really makes you like want to avoid this thing at all costs.
It's actually like discouraged me in the tournament at one point. We could talk about it later, but it definitely discouraged me. There was like a key moment, like I could do this and really wreck you, and it's like you Bellicored me, so I've got to wait. Like I could do this, but it's gonna like if you want to fight, bro, like. That's on a 3-up. Like, oh yeah, you charged me 3-up. You don't fight. And with like certain units, you don't want that.
I'll say this about the list that I played in my 4th game. It had a reinforced unit of Chosen in it, which is usually a really terrifying like unit to deal with. Definitely. But I had deployed my Vanguard units far enough away from like the Varangard to where they're aiming right at the Chaos Chosen. And I'm like, okay, because she deployed them to where they're obscured in like, the trees or whatever. And I was like, that's all right. But as soon as they leave those trees, they're going to get shot up. And
Were they obscured? Yeah, you're like,
yeah. So it kind of kept them like, she was like, I can't really move them out because they're going to get shot up. And I'm like, yeah, you just have to leave them back there then.
What a shame. Be a shame if those Vanguard got shot right off the table.
Yeah, so I never felt the like huge Varangard like smash, and then I was able to get into them with my shots and with my annihilators before they could do too much to me. But it's those Varangard, man. Those mounted units, they go really far, and you don't really have to worry.
While we're on the subject, let's go ahead and let's just jump right into game 1. Day 2, game 1. Let's just jump right into it. As you're talking, man, I'm already getting hyped on the game. Stormcast versus Varangard. Before we start talking your game, let's talk the mini game part. We played silly mini game part, where you do like the defender, attacker, whatever.
We use magic cards to represent like who's the attacker, defender, and
we did, yeah. That was funny. So when you play into a teams tournament, you have to make like a little card game. There's like a little card game where you're like revealing attackers, defenders. And, it was cool. Like, so we saw like all of our opponents, like had some pretty cool stuff. Like, I really liked like Rick and Doug. theirs was really cool. They had like the graphic, and it was laminated,
Yeah.
and it was sick, and it was like
I
it
really
wasn't
wish we
just
did
like
that.
some nonsense they grabbed. Yes, we got to do that next time. That
They had their army and a cool graphic on a laminate, and I'm like, okay, we're a planes card from Magic.
You know what we got to do for us next time is we got to do like our army, but like as like a WWE like star.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be Darthu on the top of the ladder. Oh
no! See, it's just anything like that. But yeah, I felt like I was like, oh man, people have some like the themed cards, like the Monsters Inc. People have the Monsters Inc. like stuff, and I was just like, oh, I wish I had something cool. We just kind of thought about the last minute. Hey, let's use Magic like land cards as our.
I tried to go look in my car and I couldn't find anything. I was like, I know for sure we can go up there and be like, hey, bro, let me get 3 lands from you. You know what I mean?
Right.
For sure, like forest, trees, pretty fucking easy. Stormcast and Plains actually worked out really well because it has like the star. Like I thought, I was like, oh,
yeah, I was like, that's perfect. Yeah.
And then he had Trogoths, so like he was Gits, but it's like he was playing Trogoths. So Red Mountain, it's like solid.
It was easy. It was easy to play like the rock paper scissors like mini game that you, because basically you put down a person who is your defender, and that's basically who you're saying like, hey, this guy's ready to fight whoever.
He'll fight whoever. Who do you got? Who do you got? I got this guy for you.
Then that leaves 2 cards in your hand, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to use one of these 2 cards in my hand against whoever they put down, and that's where you can kind of decide the matchup like for the attacker. So I feel like we did a good job of doing that, like of not putting anybody against like their super weakness.
Yeah, no, I think it was pretty good. I think the one bad choice we made was that was a feature of my son. One kind of bad choice we made is like, and I didn't even think about it, is we let Brendan go into. He's like, I'll play the Idenith. And I was like,
oh,
sure?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll play. He's like, I want to play the item. I'm like, okay. But it's like, oh, they're anti-monster.
Oh, yeah, every one of those sharks is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, that's his main, like, he's going to, like, all of your big stuff is no longer significant. You know, unless it hits first. And
we know that this has been Monster Edition, and everybody at least was rocking a monster or 2. Or an all monster list like you played with this game.
Yeah, I had 2 monsters this game. He had 3 monsters. You had none.
I had no monsters. Yeah,
no monsters. That's what it looks like. That's like the Mystic Mac prediction. You know, if you look, the next GHB, bro. Everybody who's infantry, cavalry got like points reductions. Like that's going to be the big thing.
I think that's great because I want to see more infantry.
Yeah, well, I think that's what they're like trying to get going. Like looks like less hero hammer. You know what I mean? Like this is not going to be a hero hammer GHB.
Good, because I think that the infantry needs its time to shine, bro. I feel like too, with all these start collecting boxes and spearheads and some people just buy an infantry unit as their first box. Like you can add value to people's like purchases and all of these like models that people probably have sitting in boxes. You know what I mean? Like I had Vanquishers sitting in boxes. I had Vindictors sitting in boxes. And, you know, when Vanquishers went down to 90 points, it made me go, hey, these guys actually, I would consider these over Liberators now.
Yeah, I think they're really good. I think you're right, though. Like it made me, I looked through like my Nurgle stuff. I have some Plague Bearers. They're sitting on my hobby desk right now.
Okay.
It's like, oh, cool. I'm going to make some Plague Bearers. So I have a reinforced unit of Plague Bearers for when I play Nurgle next season.
For sure.
I'm trying to look at getting some Gossamet archers now because, I mean, I want to do that reinforced brick and see how it works out with the Arch Revenant. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I feel like Gossamet archers kind of get outshined by like maybe Kurnoths with bows, or people would rather have the Spite Rider Lancers instead of those guys. But I really like them in your list. I feel like they're a really good utility piece. That shooting after moving is just super useful.
Yes, so what you do
I'm
is
starting moving after you shoot.
Yeah.
Reverse that. But yeah,
yes.
I think being able to hit something and then immediately move away is That's an amazing ability, bro. It's got so much utility as far as like getting set up as a screen or as like, doing a little bit of damage and then fading away to keep you safe to do it again a little bit later. And it goes off when you counter shoot too. It's a good ability.
Well, that and like the Arch Revenant lets them get that other shot in the combat phase.
Yeah, that sneaky little shit, and then he runs
Right.
away.
Yeah, so you charge him with the Arch Revenant. He lets them shoot. He hits and then teleports away. You know what I mean? Like it feels. Now that I've landed it like several times consistently, it feels pretty fucked up.
Were you landing it throughout the tournament?
Oh yeah. It was like a reoccurring thing. You could see after like the second time it happened, people were like, "Oh, fuck that guy."
Things, yeah.
Once you realize like the sleeper little piece he is, you know what I mean? You're like, I need to shoot that fucker and get him off the table.
I feel like you really earned it, like learning how to use those things. Because I remember initially, like you would bring them and then they would just get popped in one shot, and then you're like, well,
yeah.
But I feel like you're using them like a little bit more how they were meant to be used, as this like utility kind of like fringe edge piece. You never really want it too into the fight.
Yeah. I tried not to ever let them fight. I don't want them. They have shooting combat, but it's not like, you know what I mean? The shooting's not great. It's the more that they shoot, move, shoot. So it's like, not only am I shooting you with like crit auto wounds, I'm also like moving. So it's like I'm taking parts too. You know what I mean? Like, I can hold objectives with them. They move 12 inches. So I know some people like, when you see people run like the harpies or whatever, the like furies.
That's what. I
do the same exact thing with them, but they also shoot.
It's funny that you say that because my round 4 they had like a chaos demon, but a lot of people that run that first list I played, they had furies, and you're right. A lot of people run those as like your little kind of objective getter.
Yeah, they're like great little objective monkeys. They anytime a 12-inch movement, you're like, dude, this guy's not going to fight. He moves 12 inches. Unless they're really good at fighting, like Irridan, Drycha, you know what I mean? Like those guys, they can fight and move 12 inches, but it's like a niche thing. Cavalry, like the Gossamed archers are infantry, so it's like you move 12 and you're infantry. You're like,
it's pretty amazing.
Like nice. But the gameplay in the beginning was fun. For defender, I think we put down Brendan. Brendan said he was willing to take for game 4.
He was like, I'm ready to be the
I'll take whoever. Yeah. We did have like our little meeting ahead of time and kind of talked it out. It was nice kind of talking to him about those things where it's like, oh, I feel like he felt good about them. Like I felt good about his choices for the most part. Like when he was explaining things to me, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Now I think the Idanet Deepkin one, maybe not the greatest, but we also forget that all of us forgot that sharks were anti-monster. It's
tough too because like his whole list is monsters.
Well, that when you're the captain, bro, it feels like his whole list wasn't. It's just his 3 biggest, most impactful keys were. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, and as soon as these monsters go, the army kind of falls apart.
Well, he did have a lot of other things, trolls and wolves and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but fuck, I don't know.
It looked like a lot on the table when he would set up his deployments. I would be like, that's a lot of trolls.
When you looked at his like box with all of his stuff in it, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, you have a lot of shit. like I got 2 trays. I could have brought 2 trays with me, 2 little baking trays, and that's my whole army, and that's I felt like I was like, I'm running a lot of shit this tournament.
Yeah.
He had a lot, it felt like. I was like, dude, you got at least 3 or 4 trays up in there. But he was a defender.
Like it definitely still, even though your trolls, you're these giant like lumbering units, it still feels like you have a horde still. Like, and when you're playing Gits, you're supposed to have a horde, and the troll horde, it's cool on paper, it's cool on tabletop, bro. I feel like that's a cool list. I know 1 and 4 isn't the result that anybody wants, but I don't think it's the list. I don't know if it's the matchups, but I feel like I see that list on regularly on like reviews for top placings in tournaments. Tournaments where people are going 5-0, 4-1, and they're playing that what is it called? Dank Hold like
The Dankold.
Trogord.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
I think I know he for sure is running that box. It's like the Dankold something.
Yeah.
But he is running that, and then he also has like wolves in it, which you would think would counteract well with what he's trying to do, because these guys are real slow, and these guys are real fast and hold stuff. You know what I mean? I think that the cavalry, the ones that he runs, like get like some extra kind of movement nonsense. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I think that they can move again, like in like the hero phase or like the movement phase, something. So it's like you would think they would like synergize well.
That's where I was really no help, like in the pregame stuff, because I'm like, I don't really know.
You don't know
what the Gits are gonna be good into, and I don't know what's going to be good into them. And
the one thing I know, like any destruction army, is -1 to hit is no bueno.
Yeah, no bueno. It's already hard enough to hit. And Brendan had to play Zach on his game 4 or his first game of day 2, and Zach knows everything about Gits. So it's tough when you're playing against somebody who knows your army stuff. It's like
that was game 3. Zach played Brendan on game 4 played Doug. You played Doug and his Daughters of Cain. It's that list I played the week before, remember?
New Daughters.
Yes. So he played New Daughters. You played Slaves. And I played Rick and his Zinch. And all of these guys, just so you know. Yes. So let's get into this. Let's get into game 4. Game 4, super fun round. I thought the team we went into, solid team. These guys are like, they've all been playing for a while, and you could tell like when you played against them. Rick is like a veteran of fucking AoS. Doug, I believe, is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Erica, I think she was one of like the TOs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's one of the TOs. She's a House of Hobbies. I felt like anytime you play any of those House of Hobbies people, they know the game. They're really adept at the game. But yeah, you're right.
Like general or whatever. Like I don't know what she is, but you could see like, oh, bro, people respect her. She knows what she's doing, bro.
Yeah. And when you have 2 reinforced Vanguard, you just command respect.
Yeah, exactly. Said, well, when I run this shit down your butt throat, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so you played Zinch.
I did play Zinch. I played Rick from House of Hobbies. He's got the beautiful Kragnos.
With the conversions, yeah.
Yeah, he has all the sick conversions. His games, like playing against his army is so I that was the one thing when like I got paired into him. So he was their defender, right? Like we had Brendan, he was their defender, and I was like, oh, I could play into him. And especially when they revealed Daughters, and I was like, fuck, Daughters going into Trogoths. That's hard. I don't know that the new Daughters book is really good, man. It's in my opinion really, really, really good.
Yeah, those rules are really good. Those units are really good.
Super good manifestations, super good player lore. Like for the most part, pretty good. Like faction. And then I saw Zinch there, and I was like, I felt like with my battle tactics, I think I could just achieve those against him. And it's with Zinch, I don't think you want to like, don't try to like counter anything. Just do your game, because they're gonna do whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
And if I already kind of like went in with that in mind, and I think it was a big advantage for me. It's like, I'm just going to try to accomplish my goals,
Yeah.
I feel like when I fought him, he like they have one spell, right? It's a chaos manifestation where it's like, if you deal mortals, and if you kill a unit, you turn that model into a chaos spawn.
Okay.
So, dude.
And that went off against you?
He would pop a Dryad. A Dryad's only 1. All he's got to deal is 1.
Oh.
That Dryad is now in combat. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's like a Chaos Spawn isn't great, but it can hold Dryads. He did it. Yeah. He did that. Or like, say he hits you down to 1 or 2 health, and you're in like what he did is he got my Gossamet Archers, and he popped, like I had 1 life left on a Gossamet Archer. He popped that Gossamet Archer, and then I had my Gossamet Archers. So it's like 2 left. And then now they're in combat, and they have shooting combat, but now I have to target the spawn.
The spawn, spawn out of one of them, their own. That's a crazy ability.
He has this crazy manifestation that like he rolls 2 dice, right, and then each number is like is given like a certain like ability. So he kept hitting every round. He chose 5, which was -1 to hit, and he gets +1 to hit. So, yeah, and he did it to Darthu. He did it to the Gossamids. He did it to
It goes off reliably then.
Yeah. Well, he just summons the spawn, and then once that's there, every turn he rolls 2 dice, and then he can pick which one of the abilities that he wants. And every time, like I said, it was -1 to hit.
That sounds like a ZT ass way of playing, yeah,
bro. And it was super frustrating. You could see because we're both 5-turn armies, and as we were playing, you could see we were both like, it's just like was slow. You know what I mean?
Like a situation where our love of dryads is kind of betraying us here.
Yeah, well, because he kept getting the chaos spawns.
Yeah,
but I think I just was lucked out, like because he had so much stuff in like a reserve. I had everything on the field. You know what I mean? So I was able to control more. I think.
Was there a point in the game where he did the like swap units?
Oh, every hero phase? You mean every hero phase, including mine and his? Yes, mine and his phase. He did it every single time.
Yes. Oh my gosh! So as this swap thing is happening, are like abilities triggering too?
No, it's a hero phase ability, and it happens in your phase and my phase. So, say you get into a fight with this guy, right? You're fighting him. Don't kill him.
Right.
All right, now he's gonna send these guys in your hero phase. You know what I mean? We went through and turned. Okay, cool. Next hero phase. If it's your turn, you can at least pull, like, try to do some kind of damage. Like, say you have like a damaging spell, right? You could do it like that. You know what I mean? Or you could, whatever. In his hero phase, so say you don't kill him in your hero phase, at the end of your hero phase, he gets a chance to respond, right? So he's like, okay, I'm going to pull this unit out of combat, and I'm going to put this guy right outside of your 3. So it's like, I'm going to pull these Zangors out of combat. I'm going to drop in these 3 enlightened Zangors into your combat. And you're like, oh. Hey. And Light and Zangors on disc are like Kurnoth. So it's like, I'm just dropping them outside of your 3. And you're like, ooh. What's even cooler is when he picks those same ones up and drops down the screen. And you're like, dude.
Wow.
That's why I was like, I'm just going to try to hold like my battle tactics were scouting, so it's just like get stuff outside of my territory, and that was the one thing was a big deal was like we played get stuff outside of the territory, and we had all the neutral territory because that was the life cycle battle plan for game 4.
Yeah,
so I was like, oh, cool.
I call it baseball.
Yeah, but it's like there's neutral territory, so it's like with the neutral territory, it's like, oh, cool, I'm just gonna run all my scouts to the middle. Boom, turn 1, got scouting. You know what I mean? Like. Scouting.
That's the one with the horseshoe deployment. It's like right here and then right here. Yeah.
Yeah, your opponent you have here, and then your opponent has here.
And that's where like, the center is all no man's neutral. Land.
Yeah. So right away, I was like, Dryads here. Like, and then I had Gossamids over here. So it's like, cool. I'm just gonna push them all in. Got scouting 1. You know what I mean? Even the Kurnoth, I pushed the Kurnoth in. Like, no matter what, like, dude, I'm getting scouting 1 for sure. Scouting 2 is like, I believe you take all of the terrain in theirs that you can control. And I guess in life cycle, whatever is the main one that is on, the other one is off.
Right.
Is what they like. I didn't understand that when we first went into it. I thought it was this main one is the primary. So it's 2 points, right? You have 4 points for controlling 1 objective. You get 2 points for controlling the primary, and you get 1 point for controlling the secondary. And I think you get 2 for controlling more. But when you have, like, say you turn this one on, this one is off, so it can't be controlled.
Ah, okay.
You know what I mean? So
okay,
even if you hold this, it doesn't matter. Okay. Thankfully, I was underdog. Rick's the fucking man, so of course I'm underdog. I was like, I'm gonna turn this one on, and it was one he had, but I knew I was like, I'm already holding the bottom, and I'm already holding this one right here. So this is the primary. So it's like, oh, cool, it's going to come down here. I'm holding this. It's going to be very hard for you to take this from me because I had like Kurnoth and Dryads. I was like, and then there was one point he brought all his stuff in, and I teleported Drychair, and it's like, cool. Well, now Drychair's going to fuck these guys up. You know.
Okay.
And it, like, I held that. On top of that, Drychair's worth 5 control, so it's just Nice. Yeah, I held that one and then it shifted up here, and like I'd already moved another set of Dryads up here and the current off the sides. So it's
Okay.
like, you're not taking this from me either. So I'm taking this and I took this, you know. It was a really grindy game. We went all the way till lunchtime, and then like 5 minutes past lunchtime, and even Rick was saying, he's like, I don't care at this point, dude. I'm over. He's like, I got this. You got this. Is that cool? And I was like, dude, I'll call it there. You know. So I
Yeah.
got the win there. But you could see he was like, I'm over this, and it's one of those. It sucks. My favorite army is a 5-turn army. You know, like I wish it was like yours. Your games, I feel like by turn 2, like you've won it.
Yeah.
If it turns into anything longer than that, I don't think it's as good for you, but you can still win.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But I think there's a lot of games you're like,
I remember
you've got one model left that really means anything. Do you want?
And that fourth game, Brendan made a good point. He told me, because they got to a point where the game was kind of unwinnable, so he just kind of talked it out with his opponent, and he's like, "I rather, instead of trying to get frustrated and dig myself out of this hole in this game, go into my final game like fresh-minded, not frustrated." Like maybe had a little bit longer break going into lunch. And I thought that was smart.
See,
I was like,
Brendan's a veteran, bro. Brendan's a veteran.
Yeah, know when to like save your he's like I only have so much brain power left, for this 5th game. I want to make sure I have, my wits about me going into this last round. And I was like, that's a really smart way to look at it if you're really down and out on your 4th game, save yourself.
No, bro, I not gonna lie, bro. I agree. Going into day 4, like I think you kind of brought it up earlier. It's like it's tiring, bro. My brain was fried. My brain was like totally cooked. Like there was like times I couldn't count the dice. There's how many attacks? Gossman archers, 11 attacks. Cool.
Bro, there's times where I even I forgot.
Dude, pulling 11 dice, very easy. I have a bag full of fucking Warhammer dice. Like I just reach in and grab a handful, and like, dude, that's like 7 dice at minimum. Like I dropped a bunch of these, and a 7 still came out. It's like I should be able to pull out 11 dice. I remember I was sitting him down, and I had to count it like 4 times, and I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah. Brain starts to go.
It started getting cooked, bro. I swear. But after that, we had lunch. It was a lot of my game 4, a lot of fun. I like playing with Rick. Rick is a cool guy. I like Rick. Rick is just very commendable, respectable guy. You know what I mean?
He has a passion for the hobby. You can see it. He's always talking about his conversions, showing off his conversions, and they're always super unique. In a hobby where you can kind of see the same thing over and over and over again. Yep. Rick's all of his stuff is one of a kind. So
100%. As I was just gonna say, is you'll see my Sylvaneth army again. Similar colors, maybe not everything the same. You'll see your Stormcast for sure a million times. You'll see a lot of armies, same thing. You know what I mean? You're gonna see those same armies a million times. Especially in my trees, you're gonna see a lot of those over and over again. I used Wildwood. That's base. Yeah. For you, Rick's, you'll know it's Rick's.
Yeah.
Either Rick sold you that army, made you that piece, but that's Rick's army. You know what I mean?
So now, if I ever see units with a little flame as heads instead of their heads, I'm gonna be like, I saw that on this guy Rick. So I'm like, that's his idea.
I'm gonna check their Gargans conversions.
Yeah.
What Gargans do you have? Why does he look like that?
One of them. Remember,
one if he's on a mount. That's Rick.
One of the conversions was holding a manifestation. I was like, that's just sick.
He's got the scythe. It's like the pendulum or whatever.
The pendulum scythe, yeah.
Yeah, and he had in his hand. I went in for one of their spearhead learn to plays, and Rick is showing it, and I went in and looked, and I was like, "Is this the manifestation you have attached to here?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Dude, this is sick. This is so dope."
Yeah. So I think that was a good way to just finish up our 4th round.
Agreed.
And our opponents were, just so awesome. House of Hobby alumni.
It was cool. We got to fight all the veterans of House of Hobbies that. I thought, in my opinion, was cool. We get to fight you guys. They're not going to be the greatest games, but I think I'm happy I got to do it with that.
We're trying to make our circuit around each opponent.
Exactly.
Get our out there. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting there. People see me, they know my army, and and I'm glad to represent Stormcast, and just like how you could tell Rick had pride uh, in his army and playing Zinch, and even
Agreed.
Erica, she had pride in her slaves. They were all painted well. She had her Varangard painted different colors. Like these ones were white, these ones are black, and so you could tell which is which, because it could be confusing when you have two reinforced units of the
Oh,
same thing.
definitely. Yeah.
So I was like, I appreciate that these things are painted differently so that you can clearly see with your eyes what they are. Even though I still feel like the demonic lord, like the chaos lord on demonic mount, I was like, he looks like everything else do. But
yeah. I was like, what is this extra Vanguard guy you have?
yeah,
The Vanguard,
but
Like, okay,
yeah,
cool.
it was box art slaves. Like if she sold that army, man, it would be worth a pretty penny. I feel like, because it was a nice looking army. And then that Daughters of Cain army that
Doug had.
It looked beautiful, bro. Beautiful Marathi, beautiful cauldrons, like beautiful little witch elf ladies. The new blood hags just look amazing, and their weaponry is so cool. And gosh, like Daughters just got it made in the shade right now. I just bought Allie some Daughters of Cain stuff, and shouts
Let's
out to
go.
Anthony over at Collective Gaming.
Shouts out Anthony. Let's go.
Yeah, he just has so much held aside for me, and yeah, and that was it's just such a good time to be in the Daughters of Cain. Their book just hits, bro. I feel like nobody's giving it the 1-star review. Everyone is like Siskel and Ebert, 2 thumbs way up on that book. I feel like
exactly.
I feel like because Daughters of Cain, they're glass cannons, and if having their ability that after it dies, it passes off to this next unit. It's just so thematic, and it's just so useful for that army. It makes the deaths feel less punishing.
Yeah, well, it's like they're almost like they're like corn, but better.
They're better corn, yeah. Son of
what is it you said with you said cornflakes? You're like, what's better? You're like the sweet
frosted
flakes.
Yeah,
these are frosted flakes over cornflakes.
Corn is just regular Kellogg's. You know what I'm saying? Farmer's breakfast. Nobody wants that. And then Daughters of Cain, their new rules, it's like they're frosted flakes. Everybody loves it.
You got that fat handful of sugar. You're like, let me sprinkle some of this on there.
Yeah,
this is corn, and all of a sudden,
I'm honestly really envious too. You know what I mean? Because Allie plays Daughters of Cain, and I get to see her get all this cool stuff. She was building the manifestations today, and I was just like, so lucky. And I feel like
our ladies like just picked like the perfect armies this year. This fucking bullshit.
I know that Daughters, and I know Daughters isn't a huge range, but it still has like quite a bit, and their stuff is so unique. Like those manifestations, the one with the little snake head and the little fist gripping the heart.
Dude, the manifestations are really good.
Yeah, I know. Like
they have the best manifestations. If there's one hero, if he has that guy, you can't even banish the manifestations. You have to kill them.
That's crazy. And they made Avatar of Cain a manifestation now too.
What the fuck? I didn't know
Yeah, he's just in the Blood-Racked Shrines like War Scroll now. So you just
summon an Avatar of Cain.
You summon an Avatar.
That's how they fixed the people spamming them, because I know people were spamming them. I want to say. I was like, what do you have? You're like, I have 4 Avatars of Cain. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so like now you can just summon out, reliably this freaking behemoth of a melee unit, and now they can fight it and solve it, or they can banish it, but it could come right back. It might come back in your hero phase. So
yeah, exactly. Like you might have just gave him a free teleport. I think that's what you did. Yeah,
they with the new battle scroll, they simplified a lot of the stuff. Like they made it so that witch elves are just simply like one type instead of having like the buckler ones or the ones with the knives, and I just think that them simplifying without taking things away and then adding some new units, it just gave Daughters that shot in the arm that army needed. And look, we saw them in the tournament. We know that team did well. So, hell of a fourth game and start to day 2 of the tournament. It still felt great. I got smashed by the Varangard, but every time I play that list, I learn more about it because I don't feel like it's going away, homie.
No, it's there forever. Apparently, the Mortal Realms will go away before the Vanguard do.
The double Vanguard is too damn good. It's like Hershey's chocolate.
Yeah, those ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's get into game 5 there, the last game of the day.
Game 5, man. Especially by this time, bro, my brain was cooked.
Yeah, my feet are starting.
Done.
My feet are starting to hurt a little bit. Voice getting a little bit hoarse. You know what I'm saying? Like mind is a little bit on edge. You're like, I can't make another decision.
Yeah, dude, it felt like that. I swear.
And even like in the mini, and in that last round, it was a little special for me because.
Agreed. Yeah.
A good
Hold
friend
on, before you get into this, we got into it was Johnny and his boys, right? It was Johnny, Blake, Brad. And I see these guys all the way on. They're always on like Discord looking for games. Brad is always looking for a game.
What was their team name?
It was like the Cruel Boys Mob something.
Okay.
Something like that. It was something about.
It was ode to the Cruel Boys. I know it was something Cruel Boys related. First of all, having Cruel Boys being represented in the tournament is awesome.
Yeah, Destruction. Let's go. Yeah, we need more Destruction.
I believe Johnny won Best Destruction Army too. So like, just fantastic army, fantastic list, and it was painted immaculately, bro. I think right there next to Blake's Gets, like those were the two best painted armies there.
If we're looking at teams like painting. Like they won as a team.
Oh yeah,
as a team, like I would hands down give it to them. Like it wasn't even like I think a lot of people had like a lot of great painting. I don't remember like the painting contest, but was it Blake? Oh, Blake won the painting contest.
Blake definitely won the painting contest. Yeah. But
he won the painting contest, but the whole team looked beautiful.
He had the immaculately rainbow painted Gets, like they look like sherbet ice cream.
Yeah, and he had like purple and like greens and like reds and blues. I was like, dude,
different
this
hues,
is
and it's
wild,
beautiful, bro. And he had it on this nice display piece with it looks like a cave with like lights and doors, and I mean, just like chef's kiss, like Blake.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just a talented painter and a talented hobbyist and artist, and don't ever. He's one of those artists who says, "Oh, it's so simple. It's with these simple materials and doing simple techniques."
He's like, "Oh, this is easy." You're like, "Dude, for you, this is easy."
Yeah, to you, it's
not easy.
It's elementary, but to me, I'm like, "Oh my god, that would take me half a year."
Blake's the Bob Ross of fucking gamer skills. He's just like, he's like, "Oh, look at this happy little mistake," and you're like, "Dude, that."
Blake, you hear that? You are Bob Ross if he played Warhammer. I love
Blake,
that.
The Bob Ross. Yeah.
The Bob Ross of Warhammer. Yeah.
I love it. Dude,
that is hilarious.
It looks so nice. And like he crushes it. All of his armies look great. He actually painted my opponents. Well, let's break down the minigame. Minigame we chose for Defender. Who did we choose? Who was the Defender? Well, before it even started, there was a grudge match that was called on their end, and it was made very clearly. We knew it was coming. You already told us ahead of time. You're like, hey,
yes,
cool about this, but just so you know, this is what's coming. And fucking, we start pulling cards, and right away they're like, before this gets going, they're like, call out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like before, like the Trojans and the Macedonians went to war. They're like, send out your two finest warriors.
I love it. Exactly. That's exactly.
Send out your finest warrior from Macedonia to fight our Greek champion. And the reason this grudge match, the origins of this grudge match is Blake, a good friend of mine, and who helped me out with my Vanguard Raptors and Bastion Carthalos, who was leading my fours and my Vigilors. So big parts of my armies I acquired from him for a very reasonable price, but painted immaculately. So to me, they're priceless. Okay. You know what I mean? A few 20s for him, but for me, I'm priceless. I will never, ever, ever part from these models, and they're going to be loved and used well.
My favorite thing was like, so Brendan was like, why are those ones green? You're like, all these ones shoot.
Yeah.
So, I was like, damn, what a smooth motherfucker.
Blake did an awesome, just a dry brush green like finish on all of my Vanguard shooting units, and I was just like, hey, if it's green, it shoots. If it has wings, it shoots. Any questions? They're like, nope, green and wings. And I'm like, it made it super like good. I can't wait to have him show me how he does some of the units that I have,
brushing.
so I could try to recreate it, because I have some other shooting units that I would like to keep the paint scheme going on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
Blake
this guy's like the
called
king
me
of
out.
slap chop over here. This fucking guy's wild.
Well, see, I tend to get a little vocal during all my games. Anyone who's played against me knows, like, if you're listening and you've played against me, you know, I like to add a little role playing to my games. I like to laugh at the dice. I like to celebrate my opponent as well as myself. My opponent will tell me, oh, I need this. And I'm like, let's see it. That's like my favorite thing to say. I'm like, let's see it. Let me see you make the roll. And they'll make the roll. And I'm like, oh, even if it hurts me, I'm like, oh, man, good shot.
Especially if it's Shannon.
And Sam, oh, better even 11. And I couldn't help myself whenever I was counting up, and I'd be like, oh, look, I got 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't help but be juvenile and ridiculous in all of my games. And poor Blake, who's a good friend of mine, he's hearing, everyone else have a great time with his buddy while he's well, he's having a miserable time in some of his games. Some of his matchups aren't going too well, and he's got to hear me like, having a party, and he's like, oh, I want to play with Jesse, and it's sad
I want to
because
party with you, Neil.
I want to party with you, please. But we weren't getting paired up, bro, and we were supposed to play at Gamer Guild like the week prior. We had set up a game. But I had just I had to go to the Shrek musical that my oldest was putting on.
You guys were supposed to play. I forgot about
that.
So
I ended up just letting Zach stomp me out with that eel list earlier in the day.
Yeah. I got my ass whooping for the day. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, so Blake was due a fun and good game with me. So right at the rip, before the card game even rolled,
He was due.
His soul is mine, and I offered. I was like, yeah, you deserve this game, and so that kind of left you and Brennan to decide who, like, basically 50-50, flip of a coin, who's going to play this army, who's going to play that army.
I think that's essentially what happened. Is like, it was like, okay, well, we'll reveal defenders.
Yeah,
cool. Like their defenders, like, oh,
now it's time attackers. Yeah.
So it was 100% random.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
But that's cool, because who was the last army you played? It was
I played Brad and his Lumineth Realm Lords.
That's right. The big cow.
Yep.
Yes.
Thickest cow that never dies.
Yeah. Whenever I think of Lumineth, I always think of that giant cow now.
Yeah. So I knew in my game, like, I was like, I need to kill that fucking cow. And he's like, do you know what my army does? And I was like, I know it does a lot of nonsense. It felt like Zinch, you know what I mean? And then I was like, and on top of, like, my brain is already cooked. So like, I'm not trying to like think about what your army does, because it does too much for you to explain to me at this point. Because I really wanted to play, like, I think we were talking about earlier, is like, I really wanted to play like elves, right? Obviously, if you're gonna play elves, Lumineth are kind of the go-to. I saw how complicated their playstyle was, and then I saw how complicated it was to paint them, and I was like, I'm not going to play those for my first army. So I went to trees, and my dumbass didn't look at like how complicated it was to play trees. But I knew it was much easier to paint, and the models looked cool. So I was like, I feel like I'm going to win. It felt my vibe. But I wanted to play Lumineth. They have very complicated stuff. So what they can do, basically, their battle trait is they assign a rune every turn. And then depending on if they have certain heroes and stuff, they can assign like an extra rune type deal.
Okay. That sounds cool.
Depending on how the runes like are assigned, certain combinations of runes will give you certain kinds of buffs. So it's like, for the most part, I know he used like the mountain one, and maybe it was like 2 mountain ones. I know it gave like his like Iron Guard guys saving on 3s, 5 upward.
Oh, okay. And these runes, are they persistent throughout the whole game, or just for that battle round?
It's per that round, and then he can reset them every battle round. And then I think depending on the number of battle rounds it is how many runes he can kind of give out.
Okay, cool.
And I think Avalnor, the big cow, he played the hero cow. He played Avalnor. He played 2 reinforced units, I want to say, of Stone Guard. He played a bunch of archers, so like a reinforced unit of like their shooting guys. He
Yeah.
played the big cow, their terrain, and then he had, I think they're called Twin Souls. They're like a hero, and then he had Light of Eltherion.
Very cool.
Super cool list, man. Blake painted, I know, a good chunk of his army. His basing, I will say his basing was top point, and I was like, did Blake did he do the basing too? He's like, no, I did the basing. It's like, oh, dude, the basing looks like as a basing guy, like very sick. Like I like basing. His bases all look great. They all had like the elevation to them. All of them looked really good.
Yeah, he's so
Blake
good.
Painted a good chunk of his army. He was even, so we were talking about it, and I was like, I'm an elf guy. I wanted to play your army. Told him, I explained the same thing I just explained to you, and he was like, I got all of my stuff, and then I started painting like one guy, and he was like, I'm not going to do this fucking 20 more times. So he paid Blake.
Commissioned, yeah.
Blake is as we spoke about, beautiful artist. His cow looked amazing. He did like this. He doesn't do like the normal colors that everybody else does. You know what I mean? You're not.
That's what I love about him.
You're not getting the box art. You're getting some wild shit, but it looks amazing. And it's just like, dude, he did the cow. The cow had like a red head, like it looked like fire. And the way he did it just was super dope.
We talked about how Rick like had one of a kind models. Like I would second that with Blake. He's got one of a kind models.
I feel like if especially we're at House of Hobbies and there's certain people running units, I'm like, that's Blake's or he painted it. You know what I mean? You can blatantly see with your army. I can see it with Brad's army. I can see it with his army. I'm like, well, I know you painted all yours. Your shit looks.
He's too humble to admit, but he has a signature technique that I feel is identifiable.
He's just a very nice guy. He's also very silly, and I think he is like no, like I think he tries to be very humble. You know what I mean? But he's a very, very, very silly guy. I like Blake a lot. I like Blake a lot.
Yeah.
It was that when before you were talking, I was like, dude, I want to play Blake. Like,
I know, yeah.
Like I was like, let's see how the random games come out, and then fucking Johnny came out all hot, like, hey, we got a call. I was like, well, I'm not gonna interrupt this. It was to this point where it was this call. This is where
it reminds me in a fighting game, like where it goes, here comes a new challenger. I'm like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
I have no choice.
Like, you know when you're playing Super Smash Brothers, right? And you finally fight like 100 fights victories, and you're about to unlock the new shit. You're 100% right. I was like, I can't impede on this. I cannot. You know what I mean? Like,
and you still ended up playing a long game, right, against that Lumineth. It was a long slog, right?
Well, that was what I was hoping. Like with Kits, I didn't think it was gonna be as long. And it was literally like the two techiest armies on each of our teams fighting each other. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Trogs and Cruel Boys, it was gonna be quick.
Yes.
you Kragnos and Gits. He had Kragnos. He had all the fucking Boingrot Bounders, right? It's gonna be quick.
Yeah.
Bro,
we still ended up having a 5-turn game, bro.
He's running a castle, and it's like, it sucks. We didn't even finish our fucking game. Like, this was like techie was. We went, and he's running his castle, super defensive. He played it very well. I felt bad for him because I don't feel like his tactics, like he was even telling me, he's like, these are not like good for my army. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that was always hard when you tactics. Yeah.
And then on top of that, by that last game, bro, my head was cooked. Like, I knew in the very beginning of like, hey, don't do this. And dude, right away, turn one, the second I could, I did all of those things.
you went against your better nature and better mindset just because you've got game fatigue.
Yes. Well, so I was like, fuck it. I'll just do what I did last time. I'm just going to do what I do. Like with Lumineth, you cannot do that. They are a very good counter into everything. Like, it's a castle. Like, turn into a castle. And then he was like hitting like, dude, insane rolls. So in the beginning, like I told him about the Dreicher bomb, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna bomb you with this. This is how it works. So he's everything castled, and I'm gonna blow up that fucking Light of Eltherion. Fuck that guy. I don't want to play with him. You know what I mean? Right away, someone's a manifestation right in front of Light of Eltherion. I was like, oh, you fucker. You know what I mean? So I set the tree a little further down, and I was like, hey, do these Stone Guard hit pretty well? And he's like, they can hit okay. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna pop these Stone Guard. And I run Dreicher right into the Stone Guard. I think I dealt like 1 damage or 2 damage. I maybe killed I killed like 3 of them, but he brought 2 of them back like with the rally next turn. He popped Dreicher right away. Dreicher's one of my he had the treasures. Dreicher's one of my treasures. That's what I was like,
oh no.
That was super dumb. I just basically gave him one on my turn because I went first and I just gave it to him for free. You know what I mean? Like, dumb choice. Super bad misplay. Turn 2, he kind of literally just moves his castle around a little bit and gives them all buffs. Because they're one of those armies where like turn 1 and 2, they're not the strongest. You know what I mean? That's why I thought maybe I can penetrate there.
They got to ramp up a little bit over time.
Yeah, because over time it's going to get bad. It's the same as my army is like over time it's going to get bad.
Yeah.
He moved his little units a little bit. I moved mine, and then I try to send in again. It's one of those like I learned not to attack castles, don't attack fishing castles. And then Brad is also, dude. I think he's newer like us. I think he said it was his first GT. I think he's like us as well, where it's like, dude, this is a really good player. Like, it's his first GT, but this is not his first rodeo. He's played games. I know he plays on TTS. I see him reaching out on Discord all the time for TTS.
Yeah.
Like, so like if you went through all the way through the steps to play TTS, like you know how to play this game.
Yeah, he may be stepping out of the casual play like arena into the competitive play arena, but yeah, he's definitely a threat still.
Yeah, it's like you're fighting stage 1 Majin Buu. Like he's gonna be Kid Buu here in a minute. You know what I mean? Fuck. Yeah. So I got.
He's still gonna turn you into chocolate and eat you.
Yeah, dude. Like he's still gonna fuck you up. Like but he's still only stage 1. You know what I mean? And stage 2 and stage 3, he's really gonna wreck you.
Oh my god, that's a goated Boo though.
yeah. He's the one that's still here, right?
Yeah. But so after you guys have a long slog of technical moving around and buffs and debuffs and trades and eagle trades, how does it all end out in the end?
We run out of time, right? We run out of time, and Joel like comes to us, bro, and he's like already told us like he was pretty.
We want to go home.
Like, he was pretty good about like all of like you know what I mean? Hey, hour and a half, hour.
He started. He made the band start playing. He's like,
he was very good about telling us, and then like he's like, you guys got 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and it was like shit, and we both like looked, and it's like there's still so much going on. You know what I mean? It's one of those games that I think could have gone either ways, but he had a really
10
strong
minutes left. Lynn, you look down at like 2 hours of decisions. You're like,
that's it. Yes, yep. There you go. There's the clip right there, bro. It's fucking. Yep, 10 minutes left and 2 hours of decisions you see on the table.
You look down at 2 hours of decisions on the board and you're like, hey, you want to talk this out, buddy?
Yeah. At a certain point, I was like, dude, I'm cooked. And he was cooked. And on top of that, he's also a very nice guy. And I was like, can we just like, I was winning 40-38, but he had a very strong turn. And he had completed 2 of his tactics or 3 of his tactics. And I had only completed 2 of mine. And I was like, hey, could we call it like a draw at 40-40? But I didn't also understand how like the minor victory, major victory works. Since he got more tactics, he did get the win. That's what I'm saying. I was like, man, you earned it. Like your last turn, like he did. He went through and he like, I made a bunch of really terrible decisions and he made a bunch of really great decisions. And I feel like the game was more set up in my favor than it was for him. And he still won. So it's one of those like, I respect you, bro.
So you just give him it to it. You're like, you know what?
Well, I did 40-40, and I was hoping it was going to be a time, not going to lie. But minor victory, major victory, and I was like, no, even then, bro, even then, like I know I had more points, but you still had more, and you had the momentum was going to shift it depending on how things went. It totally could have shifted in his favor. So it's one of those, I don't mind it, you know what I mean? On top of that, Brad's super nice dude, bro. Like there was I didn't feel any type of ill will. It was one of those like, man, I really wish we could have finished our game. I think I could have pulled out that victory, but at the same time, he was on a very good like that last turn that we finished very strong for him.
Yeah,
so
that's
one of those like it's really hard to like argue this, and it's one of those. My mind is cooked. Your mind is cooked. I could tell we're both tired. It was like, can we call it a draw 40-40? And then once he put it in, and I was like, why did it come up with a loss? And I seen this, so I was like, no, man, it's not even worth like. It was really good, I think, in my opinion.
It was,
He earned it. He deserved it, and I still feel like I had a great tournament. I'm happy that he had a great tournament. Everything came out really good. Let's talk your game with you and Blake. How did that go?
So me and Blake, we're going into this last game. Neither one of us is getting any kind of trophy, so we just know, like, let's just cut and have fun.
Yeah. You guys were playing right to the left of us, and I was like, these guys are having a blast. You could just blatantly see, like, You guys are having way too much fun for playing this game.
Yeah, we're all like, we're gonna, kind of the opposite of what you guys had going on. We're like, let's turn off our brains and have some fun. Let's create some funny moments here. And he, it's funny because he deployed so much shit down right away. Like he's got 2 units of reinforced squigs, like squig herds with the little squig herder guys. He's got a mangler squig, the one with the squig standing on top of a squig.
Oh, I love the mangler squig. Yeah.
He's got Kragnos down. Remember, all of this immaculately painted. He's got some other like little like support units. They're like 6-man units, the little goblin guys.
Bro, we gotta get a picture of his army.
So much down on the board, bro. So much down on the board. So me, I hid half my shit in his ear, and then just like toe tapped a unit on each like flanking objective, and the center objective like had him toe tapped and in the way back. And then on Carthalos's like move, I had everybody like move into like perfect lines. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna make you go first. And I was like, fuck, what I did not want. So I teleported my liberators to like the central objective and like just toe tapped it slightly.
Yeah.
And like, so
he very far backside. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had the choice to like redeploy and then countercharge, but it ate up all his CP. And he needed it for his.
I learned in this tournament actually, if you redeploy, that counts as a run. So
that is a run, right? Yes, yes. So he just kind of like the whole first turn was just me teleporting these liberators up to take an objective. That scored me, the first part of Restless.
Yep. More than you.
More than you. And a 15-point turn, and all I did was teleport some liberators in. Is everything still in his ear? Everything's even further back now because I deployed on the objectives and captured them. Moved 5 inches back, and I was like, okay, I'm on the very. This is how I should have played all those other like super aggressive lists.
Yeah, this is how you should play against Vanguard, like you were saying.
So 2 turns have gone by, and all he's done is kind of try to move into my territory. And this is where we start trading stuff, right? So
the fun part.
He perfectly had all of his stuff like in a way where I could drop my annihilators right in the middle and hit 3 units with D3 right away. I did that, and we started trading annihilators and squigs. Squigs, if you can get into them before they charge you, aren't as crazy as if they charge you. So you want, So you want to try to get into them as best you can. His Boingrot Bounders, the ones with the lances, I was able to shoot them down with Vanguard long strikes.
Yeah, you're going to pop all those guys with those guys.
That was on a counter shot, too. They went into me, lost half their unit on a counter shot, and then I was able to leave the rest of the unit. I'm running from Kragnos the entire game. Kragnos has 2 fights in the entire game. He fights both of my heroes. And he kills both of them, but it's at the second turn and the very last turn. I was able to effectively run away from Kragnos the entire game. So that was freaking hilarious. I feel like Kragnos is supposed to be this super like behemoth of a unit, but I was playing in such a cheeky way that he couldn't get into me.
That's funny. That's how I played against slaves. I was like, here, you can kill these dryads.
I'm surprised, Blake didn't do better during the tournament because that list seemed like it had a lot of power in it, bro. It had a lot of power.
The list he brought, I thought, like, that's the list I want to run. Is that, like, how his build is? Like, that's what I want to make, is that.
Yeah. I think that list is really good. After a lot of trading in the game, after a lot of running around shenanigans, Squigs, or the way his army ran is he had a roll for his movement. And his movement was always like this roll plus D3, this roll. So sometimes
it's that roll, like with Bounders, it's like 8 plus D6.
Yeah.
With Squig it's like 6 plus D6.
He kept running in a situation where he'd come across the board to my side to get into me, but then I just teleport to his backline and take his objectives. Yeah. So we kept playing this movement game where we deployed like this, and then at some point our armies were like this, and I on this side of the board, he on this side of the board. Then he's chasing me this way, but I'm moving this way, and it's just hilarious. And by all was said and done, our game was 60-65 with Blake edging out the win at the very end, in the very last turn, getting a 20-point turn, and it was just hilarious. I could have won the game if I could redeploy 3 inches or more, and I got the 2-inch redeploy. Kragnos got into Bastion Carthalos, popped him, got him his last treasure, got him the win, and I was just like, what a thematic game, what a fun game. And we were laughing the whole time, joking the whole time, celebrating the whole time, and
you guys that game looked like it was fun.
I'm glad that after a series of stressful games for himself and for me, that we could just cut loose and have this like friendly kind of like like Ash versus Gary at the very end, and I think that his army is amazing, and if he decided to run it again for a tournament, I think he'd do very well with it. If he put that army up for sale, I would buy it.
Oh, for sure. Even
thing,
if just for the painting, like I'm like, dude, this is immaculately painted. It's literally all the units I want to run. Like like the Kragnos, like all of that. That's how
that Kragnos he has. It just looks so beautiful, bro. You know what I mean? Kragnos is an ugly model, but
exactly.
He made it beautiful.
You're like, how'd you make it not so derpy? Like dry brushing. Fucking Blake all humble as shit.
Yeah, he's like, all you need to do is a good dry brush.
I just dry brush this. I'm like, that's nonsense, bro.
I feel bad because we're over here having like the time of our life in this game. You're sweating it out over there, and then poor Brennan in his last game, and he's got to play the monster killers, and he's freaking got so many monsters.
Same thing for him. I was like, dude, your army's anti-monster.
And
Brennan,
like Johnny, he was the best Cruel Boy. He was the best destruction player. His Cruel Boys, he was playing every Friday at Gamers Guild talking his Cruel Boys, and he wasn't winning with them, and every time I came up to him and I said, hey, how's your Cruel Boys doing? Are they going to do good at the tournament? He's like, I don't know, man. Maybe or not. And then they did the points update right before the tournament, which allowed him to put another unit in his army, which made the army much more effective at the end of the day. And he said that he was able to put another 150 points into his army after the points update. And I was
after battle
that's nice. Major. That's major. Yeah. So,
especially for Cruel Boys, like that's like 2 units.
Yeah. So he got another unit on the board, and he was able to go 4-1 with Cruel Boys, and I just think that's amazing, and I hate that one of those wins had to come off of our boy Brennan, and Brennan, he was such a good teammate and such a jolly person, and you could tell he's a big hobby enthusiast. Like I loved having him on the team. He had to, he ended his game kind of early and then had to get headed home because he lived pretty far away from Gamers Guild North Phoenix. So I'm glad that he got the fast game. I hate that he just got shot down by a bunch of monster killers, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that we did it, and it was a lot of fun.
My bad. Can you hear me? Jesse. Yo. Hey, if you look at your screen, I'm back on.
What happened? Where's me at? Where's how come I'm not here?
For me, it says you're popped here. Boom.
Am I still there?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, now you jumped out. You should be able to jump right back in with the same link.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. I'm a dipshit. I hit the back button. We're still live. Yeah, cool.
But him getting to get out early and get back home to his family and his and his dogs, it made it better overall. I know he was getting tired, but Brennan, if you're listening, we're really happy you were part of the team. You did a great job, no matter what the outcomes of your games were. You did a great job representing them trolls. And be down to team up with you anytime, bro. Be down to come down there and get a game with you anytime. Super fun last game. It was really the right way to close the tournament out. Getting to play with Blake, getting to finish the tournament with such a fun and zany game at the end. I guess with the tournament ending on such a good and fun final game, it made the whole thing feel fun. It made the whole thing feel epic. And
Agreed.
after the short award ceremony, and they even gave us cool totes just for participating. And I thought that was cool. Like everybody,
Because we are all winners, is what they say.
yeah, they were all winners. and I felt that way. I felt that way for sure. So. I'm gonna be proud rocking my tote that I got at that event, and I'm happy that I've been going to these events by House of Hobbies, and I know I've already put myself on the list for the next one. I hope I can make it.
You already signed up for the GB?
I signed up for the GB. I put my name on the list for people looking for a shitty Stormcast player. No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck, well, let's see. I want to see. I got some stuff I have to kind of do this week, which will really kind of define how my June goes, but would be awesome, man. I want to do that. I think we should try to get a team Reckless together. So before you get agreeing to anybody, like let's try to get that going.
Oh yeah, it's Team Reckless takes precedence over everything else. But yeah, I just I just want to keep competing and get better. I want to go positive. You got to do it. When's it gonna be my turn?
Yeah, no, we got to get you get there, man. I'm excited. That they all seem like really hyped on the Green Banner. I've heard that it's pretty solid. 5-man team seems like so much fun, and it's one of those like, bro, you got to at least get 1 or 2 of those games. Got to be a favorable matchup, right?
Yeah. I've got all my Stormcasts that I could use in my list in my case right now. As soon as this stream is over, we're gonna head out and maybe get a game or two in. And yeah, it's a good time to be in the hobby. It's a good time to be playing the game. And every event that House of Hobbies has put on, I feel like is worth your time and investment. And I don't regret spending the whole weekend there. It kind of felt like you don't have a weekend after that. You know what I mean?
It sure did. It felt like, bro, going into Monday. I think we talked.
I was hurting at work Monday morning.
Bro, fatigue is real. It's like when you're doing this, fatigue is real.
Yeah, getting 5 games in 1 weekend, there's a lot of fatigue, but it's such an enriching experience, and it was so much fun, and I'm excited to do it again. And it's important that there's these gaps between it, because doing that too much, that'll make you hate this shit.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I
wanted to play, like, so I was tired, right? I'm like, I got like a little bit of sleep, and then on Monday I was like thinking about everything, and then dude, I was like looking at my app already, like, well, what can we look at? By Tuesday I was like,
modifications to this.
I got something I think for you. I'm gonna run this. Yeah, I want to run it. I was like, oh, it's too bad. Like the world is so busy. Like I had so much stuff going on this week that my job's just been super busy. So I was one of them like, I can't wait for Friday.
Yeah, and yeah, bro, we've been tired from the post tournament, so for sure. But yeah, like the Mystic Mac said, any one of you mouthy fools can get it.
Yeah. Alrighty, man. I think that's a great place to kind of wrap this up. I just want to give a big shout out, to House of Hobbies, man. Again, thank you guys. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Erica. It was a hell of a weekend. Getting our first teams event under our belt, learning the format, figuring things out as we go, man. It was a blast.
Yeah. I want to shout out Blake, my good friend and opponent. You are one of the gems in this community, and I'm really glad that we met, and I'm glad that we've got to have these cool interactions, and I look forward to playing you in the future. Shouts out to you, brother, and I want to get you on the pod because you got a lot to talk about at the artistic side of this hobby, and I think you need a platform to let the people know.
Oh, definitely. I would love to have Blake on. Man, that sounds like a blast. That's going to be an awesome episode.
I would love to have Erica and Joel too, just to see like what made you guys start House of Hobbies. Like,
dude, that would be sick. That's like I bet you those guys are so busy. I would love to have them on though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I bet you they're super busy. But
someone's like, bro, you got like an hour to come and sit down and bullshit with me and Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that one day Rolling Recklessly is organizing tournaments. I remember we did the Spearhead tournament.
Dude, it was so much fun.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe with just being around these tournament organizers and kind of like learning the flow and mojo of it, and we can pick their brains here and there on how to do it, and maybe one day we can have our own little RTT rolling
Well,
regular
man,
our
I
team.
would say they're a great way, like a great example for us. You know what I mean? Great brand to be around. Like they've like gone community, and it's really awesome to kind of like jump in and like hang out with these guys, meet these guys.
Yeah, for sure. I can agree more, bro. Like, I'm glad we did this. I know it was a short turnaround from Scorched Earth, but I'm glad you were there with me, brother. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. Like, you keep me grounded in this damn hobby. You keep me motivated. I love seeing your army grow. I love seeing, like, you get excited for Sylvaneth. You waited so long for that damn book. And I'm glad that you got it right before the tournament, allowed you to get some reps in. And I think you're in a really good place, bro. Like, army-wise, rules-wise, and your comprehension. Going 3-2, bro, I couldn't be more proud of you. You are the heart and soul of this team, and you are proof positive that you put in the time, you put in the work and the studying, you can improve immensely. I think you're an immensely better player than you were a year ago.
Oh, I agree, man. Thank you. I mean, first, thank you so much for that, bro. I really do appreciate it. I do. I put in a lot of time, like just like dude, like nerding out and like reading like the battle tomes and like reading my war scrolls and reading your war scrolls and reading
Yeah.
everybody else's stuff. So it's just one of those like I appreciate that, bro. Same to you, man. If now it feels disingenuous because bro, it was so much fun like getting you into all of this. So I was very hyped. Like you told me, I'm like, oh, I did a little bit of Sigmar, I got a little bit of this, and I don't know if you could see my like face lit up. Like the second you said that you played like Warhammer, I was like, bro, like I found we're the same kind of dork. This is fucking sick.
It came at such a great time too, because I feel like the start of 4th edition was just slow enough that where if you were playing catch up, it allowed you that time to catch up. So by
Agreed.
that first GHB, I felt like I was a pretty proficient player by then. Like at the start of the edition, I was a novice. But by that first GHB, I felt a lot more comfortable with play. And now 2 GTs behind me, I feel like a more confident player. I feel like a more strategic player now than I ever have been. And I really do appreciate like our armies, bro. Like I feel like they're kind of like reflections of who we are now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's sick. We have our legend growing, bro. It's so sick. Like our canon, I bet you is so dope.
You've stayed rooted in your army,
so
and you've overgrown your talent. All right, and now all of your abilities are blossoming. All right, and mine, you know, I came into this hobby hot like lightning.
Yeah.
All right, and I had to forge my abilities.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. It was a painful process, similar to the anvil of apotheosis.
Oh, definitely.
And,
but you definitely forged your armor. You know?
Yeah, I definitely had to hammer this thing out.
Yeah, you did. You did definitely.
All right, that's it.
I mean, that's gonna be so hard to follow up. But to finish up with my shout outs, shout out House of Hobbies, shout out Joel, shout out Erica. Thank you guys for like hosting that. Shout out everybody that we played against and everybody that entered into the tournament, man. It was super awesome to see you guys, super awesome to meet all you guys. I got to see your models. You guys got all like really in-depth participate into like the dorky thing that I do. So it's super cool to connect with other dorks who do the same thing. So super big shout out to you guys. Shout out Brendan, man. Thank you for stepping up. Like, I'm super happy that, you know, you shouted out, hey, I need a teammate. And me and you were like, hey, we need one teammate. Like, it's fucking sick, bro. Thank you for jumping in with us, man. That was super awesome. None of this would have been the same without you, man. So
nobody random queues a GT like we do. We rolled random queue. Brendan too, because Brendan didn't know us from anything. He rolled random.
Yeah, bro, rolled random. We all showed up and got to meet each other. Like, it was one of those like, hey, bro, me and him chill like multiple times a week. Hi, are you ready to be on a team? Yeah. I know all these guys have been kind of prepping. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so it was a fun. This is memorable. This one's for the books, bro. We're gonna always remember this tournament.
Oh, definitely. It was a blast. Hopefully they can make this like an annual type of a tournament. You know, that would be sick. Shout out to anybody that's been rocking through these episodes with us. We appreciate you. If you want to keep up with us, you can follow us over at Instagram at rolling_recklessly_podcast. You can follow us on YouTube at Rolling Recklessly, where you're watching us right now. If you're watching the live stream, we would love for you guys to like kind of jump in with us and join in, throw up comments, send us questions, tell us about your stories, about your awesome team tournaments, the cool people you get to meet. If you want to jump into our Discord, tell us your list, tell us your secret sauce. We're always kind of asking for that kind of stuff. You can come hang out with us. Links in the bio, so check out like YouTube, check out Instagram, check out any of those. Definitely come hang out with us, talk with us, share your games. We're building something here, and we want you to be a part of it.
For sure.
We've got more coming soon over here. Season 3 is just right around the corner. I think we're gonna take a week off for this episode. Me and Jesse got some work to do to kind of like, iron things out, but we got some real cool stuff coming up for you. We'd been over here just cooking.
Yep.
With Jesse.
Yeah, for sure. This thing is only going to get bigger and better, and we're doing this for you guys because, there's a representation that we're trying to be for the community, and that's that, 2 regular guys with
Hardy boys,
very little experience can jump into this thing, and it can be cracked wide open, and it doesn't have to be intimidating. When I first started this hobby, I never thought that we would have so many people to play with. I never thought we'd have so many opportunities to play. I thought this was going to be a niche thing that maybe we could get a couple people to do every once in a while. The fact that we're never too far away from a 2K game, it's just amazing. Like, I'm so happy that we were able to branch into this community and find our place within it. And I look forward to every time I meet up with anybody in this community. So if you're in, Arizona, in the Phoenix area, check out Gamers Guild North Phoenix, check out Gamers Guild Tempe. These are great places to meet Warhammer players, and I get amazed every time we go to these places, because I look around and you're just like, oh, there's just so many of us. Like, it does not feel like a lonely thing. Warhammer,
it feels wild when you go there and you see so many games going.
Warhammer, it's always kind of been like this niche thing, but I feel like with Space Marine 2, with 10th edition, with 4th edition, Age of Sigmar, there's just been this explosion in the hobby. And I see a lot of people coming over from other game systems to Age of Sigmar. I know when you and I are out playing, people are coming up and saying, hey, what's this? Like, oh, or they really may even recognize it. Like, hey, this is Age of Sigmar. What's your army? There's just a hunger and passion for this hobby and this games, and I'm glad that we're a part of it, bro. And I can't wait till we start busting into these other armies. But I feel like Stormcast and Sylvaneth, we gotta ride the edition out with them, bro. We gotta ride out this GHB with them.
Yeah, we gotta at least go through the GHB, right? We're gonna see how the new GHB works out, and
we're gonna see those new tactics and be like, I can accomplish this with Stormcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna paint up some stuff, because almost all my Sylvaneth is painted now. It's wild, dude. Almost all my Sylvaneth is painted
and based immaculately.
Yeah. Yes, so fucking, bro, I'll at least be painting some new stuff. Then complain, Sylvaneth.
Yeah, I do not blame you, bro. You are the strongest I've ever seen you at the game. I feel like your units, though they've lost, some abilities, they've gained a lot of really good ones too.
Oh, they did. It feels like it sucks because you lost like your big hit, but it's like such a big trade up. I think we're better now than we were.
The more distance you put between you and your old rules, the more like you'll start to forget about them. It's
wild. It's crazy that it's worked out that way. But man, I think that's a great way to kind of close out the show.
Yeah,
thank you. I'm excited. It's already getting 6:30, so I'm excited to go see you. We're gonna go get some games in down at Gamers Guild. So again, you want to come say what's up? Come say what's up Fridays. We always show up every Friday at Gamers Guild. And if we're not there, which we are there, there's always other people there to play. So if you've always been interested, you're trying to jump in, now's a great time. Do you have anything else for us?
Nah, man, hit them with what we say.
Let's do it. So until next time, may your crits be high, your paint never dry, and your rolls ever reckless.
Hell yeah.